Good evening, folks. Welcome back to Author's Channel. And I know it's been a while. I hope you have been keeping well.
Yes,
And happy Lakshmi Puja to the people who are celebrating it today. And today we have with us Mr. Pradeep Nettur. Welcome, sir.
welcome. Thank you,
So,
Deepika.
Mr. Pradeep has a new release out in the market. It's called In the Land of Narmada. And it's a translation of a book that his father had written in the 1970s, right, sir?
1973, it has been
Yeah,
published.
it was originally published in Malayalam, and the translation was just published. It's right about now available on your Kindle Unlimited and in paperbacks. So we are really glad to have you with us today. So as I know that your first book was called In the Annals of the Parliament, which were a series of speeches that your father had given in the Parliament,
Yes,
and this is your second book. In the Land of Narmada is your second book.
yes.
Uh, what made you decide to translate this particular book?
See, this was the first book published by my father, and I knew this book even before publishing as a book. This was his articles were serialized, and it had
Mhm.
appeared. It had appeared in Malayalam Manorama weekly, which was a popular weekly,
Okay.
and the articles were received very well and well read also by many. So I thought I knew this is a very important and very good book. So I took it up took up the translation. Not only that, very little is known about the Madhya Bharat. This book covers mostly Madhya Bharat and Vindhya Pradesh areas.
Uh-huh.
About that area, very little knowledge is there for people outside that area, or sometimes even in that area itself they may not have all that knowledge. So this book extensively covers all those aspects. So it is containing so many facts, information on history, geography, culture, and so many things. So I thought it is very important to translate this book, and it should have more reach, and it should reach more people. That's what my interest was.
Okay. The original book was titled Narmadayude Nattil.
Yes.
So, and it did quite well in its days. It was even part of the curriculum for graduate students in Kerala for several years.
Yes.
So, this is a huge legacy, a legacy that you must be immensely proud of. So, when you finally decided to translate the book, did you feel the pressure of living up to that legacy?
Certainly, I'm really proud of the legacy and the merit of the book. Of
Mm-hmm.
course, as is asked, there were the pressure of living up to the level of the original was really a great challenge to me, particularly because I had to be very true to the original,
Yeah.
and the language, from converting from the language to the other by English language, whether I will lose many things in the conversion, that was a big problem for me. That was a big pressure for me. Then second thing is information available in the book will be very useful, but then the style of the author, and and the narration style, and the attractiveness of the book should not be lost. So that was a really tough task, which I felt as a big pressure that time.
Okay. So, other than that, the pressure of living up to the standards that the original book set, um, obviously the English version will reach wider audience
Yes.
and reach newer generation as well. So, other than the fact that you had to live up to the standards, what else was um, keeping you awake or bothering you? What was the toughest part of this whole journey from deciding to translate this book to actually getting it done and then getting it published?
Yes. Uh, See, uh, verbatim translation would have made a hash of things. I knew that, but
Mm-hmm.
the without losing the style, substance, and the spirit, what he wanted to convey, I should be extremely careful. But knowing the background of this book, knowing very well the background of the book, and also knowing the thought process of my father, who was the author of this book, I was confident that I can handle it. So then I decided to go ahead, and then and what did you ask? You asked about the toughest part. Is it toughest? No, the question, can you repeat it?
Hello.
Hello, the third question. No, you asked me the question.
Yeah.
Yeah, could you please repeat that question?
I was like the whole journey of it. It's a whole journey, right? From
Yes,
deciding to getting it published and getting into the hands of a new batch of readers. It's a
yes.
whole journey. Which aspect of it did you find the toughest?
Of course, going along the style of its narration, without losing its character, that was the toughest aspect for me. And not losing any of the content, that was also very important for me. Uh, and the spirit, what he wanted to convey, that I should pour out. I should bring it out for the benefit of the readers. I mean, the readers who are not able to read the original, they were the toughest tasks. What I felt.
So this book is like a travel journal, you
Yes,
know, telling us that the readers about the places that your father had visited and wanted to write about.
yes.
So, have you personally traveled to any of these places after the book was published?
No,
And if you did, then what was it like to see the places that you had already seen through your father's eyes?
see, we were in those days itself, along with the father itself, we were fortunate, our family was fortunate to travel along with him to few places mentioned in the book. Some of these journeys, we we were also part of it. During a school vacation, we could join him in some of his journeys, which he covered in that period. So that had given some exposure, some good glimpse of the land, what he has mentioned, what he has described in this book. So we had a good glimpse. I mean, a fairly good glimpse of the land. So that was the only experience we had as far as that place is concerned. We didn't have any opportunity to travel after the book was published. But as
Okay.
you asked, we are really looking forward to retrace those travels of my father and the author sometime later, along with my siblings, that we are eagerly looking forward.
Yes.
Because in those travel also, I mentioned earlier travel also, we were traveling as the whole family. So and we were all boys and girls, young children. So we used to enjoy the travels very much with father because his narration, all these things, what we are hearing, what we are reading in this book, will be there. I mean, he will be describing to us also. I mean, literally. So we used to enjoy all that. So we want to relive those moments. But of course, he will not be there. But then we want to do that. We want to
Yeah.
retrace it.
So, like, since you mentioned that you have been to these places at the same time as a family, so there have been moments that, like, you and your father and your siblings have experienced together, right? You were living
Yes.
in the same place, and now that when you read the book, do you see like the difference? Any difference, like? you experienced it as a child, your father experienced as a grown up working man. So do you see the difference of how you remember the place and how your father has described it?
Definitely, there will be difference between his perspective and our perspective. We were children only at that time. But if
Yeah.
you take that period into account and his travels, then comparing it with the present day travel, of course, there will be a lot of changes. There must be there, but the places remain the same, and the symbiotic relationship between the important elements in this book, like Vindhya Pradesh, no Vindhya ranges, Satpura ranges, and the Narmada River as it is, they're all very much there. As I mean, they remain there, and that relationship continues. It is there, which is not known to many. These informations are not known to many, and this book reveals lot of facts which are unknown to many of the even the people in the state may not be aware of all those things. So that relationship, because the book explains how Narmada separates these two mountains, which are at times which are in quarrel with each other. I mean, that's all that mythological beliefs. But then those beliefs as well as the geographical facts he brings out very nicely in this book. So it is relevant any time, any day, even though a lot of changes have taken place during the period of all these years.
Yeah, because we all know places, cities, villages, towns, they keep growing.
Yes,
The
yes,
cultures develop as more people come.
yes,
It's a
yes,
continuous process. But
yes, yes,
the spirit of a place always remains the same, right? No matter how
yes,
many years pass by. So,
yes.
like you said, that there will be certain things that people who read the book and travel to that place now will still be able to identify too.
Yeah.
But suppose this book is being picked up by a person who doesn't get much opportunity to travel. For
Yes.
them, what kind of things can they learn and glean from this book?
See, a person, actually, the author's style of narration is such that he carries the reader along with him. The
Mhm.
reader will get an impression that he is traveling with the author. So even if he doesn't go there personally or he doesn't see the place, he will get the feel very, very, very interestingly. He will be happy to go along within the flow, go with the flow of the narration. So that gives him a lot of information on the history of the place, the culture of the people, the politics it prevailed not only during that period, the politics which prevailed earlier centuries ago, and even with ancient period. All those things, information is getting, it is flowing from that book. So that way, the author, I mean, the reader will never get bored or tired of reading that. Plus, uh, and that he will enjoy the travel along with the author. And even though the many cities or other things have come up there, but the history remains. History and geography remains because politics changes and the developmental aspects changes. But then it gives information on the travel details also. The book reveals a lot of travel details also, how to reach that place, from where to go, from how to reach. All those informations are all very, very unique. The style of narration is very unique. But of course, the first, earlier you asked me what were the pressures. There, he blends the mystic, mythology, geography, politics. He combines this very effortlessly. He combines all these things without giving any any signs of confusion to the reader. Very, very clearly, he explains all these things. So They will definitely enjoy either during that period if they are enjoying, even this period they will definitely enjoy.
Okay, and we have also you have also mentioned that you have it was a kind of a pressure to keep the spirit of the book, the nature of the book, and the actual messages of the book intact while translating. But there are certain things that do get lost in translation, because being a Bengali, I've read Bengali books and I've read their translations in English, and I've just nodded my head.
Yeah.
Because there are some nuances of the languages that regional language can convey much better, and there are just no words for them in English. So certain things do get lost. Do you really believe that?
Yes, certainly I believe that because in spite of all the best efforts, something might have been lost. I'm sure about that. Particularly, for instance, I can tell you the book starts. If you permit me, I'll quote in Malayalam.
Yeah,
That
yeah, sure.
the book starts with a rhyming sentence called "നാടോടികളിൽ നാടോടിയായി ഞാൻ നാടെങ്ങും നടക്കുകയാൽ."
Mhm.
This is the beginning of the. So that rhyming, that poetic beginning, I am not able to bring it out in English. No, it was impossible for me to bring it because that kind of words and rhyming things I cannot create. I mean, we tried. I tried, even with the help of my cousin, who also helped me in the final stages of this book, Mr. Chandrasekhar. So I tried we both tried, but then we could not bring it out. That original thing. Then
Eh,
the translation of certain poetries, very, very tough poetries also, they were all very, very tough. And I don't know whether I did full justice to the original verses by translating.
okay. So you mentioned that we know that you have siblings also who have experienced the same thing. How do
Yes.
they feel about you translating the book into English?
They are all very happy about this translation. And in fact, my elder sister was telling me even that she has finished reading it once or twice. She says that book is always with me. I'm just reading. And incidentally, she doesn't have a original Malayalam book with her. She says every time I get some time, I open the book and read. So they enjoy.
I think it's like,
Similarly, my younger sister also and my brother also. That way.
yeah, like I think for you it has been difficult to keep up and to feel the pressure of the legacy that your father left behind, Mr. Uh, Nettur P. Damodaran,
Yes.
the legacy that he's left behind, because it's a huge thing. And you have felt the pressure while translating the book. But I guess for your siblings, it's slightly different, because for them, they are getting to see the works of their father in so many new people's hand that who previously could not read the original version.
Yes.
So for them, they must be really glad that now the book has a wider audience thanks to
Yes,
you.
yes, yes. They all encouraged me because their belief also that it should reach a much wider audience. This was our desire actually, rather. So that is getting more or less getting. I mean, just commenced. Let us see how it is being received. Let us see how many more people will be benefited out of it. We have to wait and see.
Yeah, but I really find this really interesting, because uh, I can feel uh, the pressure and the love that comes into the play in this case, where you want to see more people, because in a way not only is your father's work reaching other people who will learn something from it, but at the same time there's going to be more people who will get a glimpse into your father as well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
the life
Yes.
that he lived, or uh, the point of view that he had of life. When you're writing a travel journal, obviously those kind of things just come into the play. You cannot
Yes.
avoid that. So
Yes.
So more and more people are going to not only just read a travel journal but also get a glimpse into your father's life, and
Yes.
that must be so. I think this is one of those things that you don't have a word in English for. You
Yes.
know, the kind of pride and joy
Yes.
and nervousness, everything brought together.
Yes.
That's an absolutely wonderful feeling.
Yes. Yes. We all have that wonderful feeling. Definitely. Definitely.
So, can we expect some more books from you in the near future? Maybe more translations or maybe an original story?
Yes, yes. It is the desire of myself as well as my siblings to bring out all the published works of my father for wider audience. That is to translate and then bring it before the wider audience, wider readers, wider number of readers, and wider areas of coverage. That is our purpose, and I have already started on that journey. Yes,
Mhm.
two more published works actually. One is on the life of I mean, complete picture of the uh, Adivasis of Kerala in particular. Because
Okay,
this
that's
book,
going to
this
be
book,
interesting.
this book covers Narmadayude Nattil covers more or less the Adivasis and the Girijans of Madhya Pradesh. But the
Mm.
second book is exclusively a Kerala Adivasis. But that is an authoritative study actually. It's an you can say an anthropological work actually because
Okay.
it was very close to his heart. That subject was very close to his heart. Then he had brought out a beautiful book that is his autobiography, and which is covering the period of freedom struggle. He was an
Mhm.
active freedom fighter. He was jailed for 2 years, and he later he served in the government as a political appointee. Then later on, he resigned that post and he became a member of parliament of the first Lok Sabha, contesting the election. And like that, he has got a very varied experience, and he has got versatile interests, and he has shown his mettle. He has proven his mettle in all those fields, be it politics, be it struggle, freedom struggle, be it social service for the welfare of the downtrodden and Adivasis, Girijans, and all that, be it culture, be it literature, be it journalism. He has worn so many hats, and in all that thing, he has shined also.
Mhm.
That way, that book brings out much more things, and a period is brought out in that book. Really, period means starting from his younger ages, starting from 19, 20, 20s to almost 70s, middle of 70s. That book covers. It's a true history of our country, and the true history of the not only the freedom struggle, the evolution of the country, and the viewpoints from a person who had seen it, who had witnessed all these things from very close quarters, being a parliament member also.
Not just witnessed it, but you can say lived it and
Yeah,
participated in
lived
it,
it.
played a
He
role
was
in
an
it.
active parliamentarian also. He was an act,
Yeah.
as you mentioned earlier. There, my first publication was in the Annals of Parliament was a compilation of his speeches in Parliament, and each speech is exclusive speeches, very important speeches, and it was not covering only Kerala. His personality is different. Actually, you see, even a selection of this book, you can see he has narrated a place outside of his place. That is Madhya Pradesh. He has taken up for his first book. Whereas his parliamentary interventions, everything, were not only for Kerala or even South India. He even took up matters of all India importance, even matters of importance, railway accidents in North India, some places. Even in this book also, you can see a reference that he fought or he took up a case of a railway line between connection of railway line to the Riva, a place called Riva in Vindhyachal. And he remembers that this is the place I wanted to railway to take up the work. But 12 years after he is going to that place, and he's finding that railway has not yet come. It is still connected by road only. The railway has not come. So that way, he was an all India person. He was a true nationalist, believing in integration of the country. Very, very sound base, yes, Bob.
I think we should one day just do another live to discuss his life. Maybe once you're done with the autobiography, and we can just sit and
Yes,
talk, because uh, I truly believe that as time is going by, we are losing that, like you said, the metal, the
yes,
character
yes,
of that personality, like those who lived through the freedom struggle. I often wonder what they would feel if they see the condition of our society today. So we would really love to do that, and I hope you get the book done soon, really soon, so that we can get back together and talk about it, and just be. So all the best for your upcoming projects, and I do hope that once you're done translating the books of your father, you'll consider um, writing something original, maybe. Hello. I think we have lost connection with Mr. Pradeep Nettur, but anyways, we were at the end of our session. Let's see if he's able to connect back. But yeah, in the meantime, people, this is a really interesting book that can nurture your travel interests and tell you about a new place. If you are not able to travel, maybe in these situations in the pandemic, it's a very good idea to pick up a travel journal and kind of live precariously through it. So do pick up the book. It is available on Kindle and Unlimited, and as well as in paperback form. So that's it. We were not able to connect back with Mr. Pradeep Natur, but it was fun having him, and let's hope that we get to come back soon with another episode. Oh, we have him back. Thank you. I was about to wrap up by
yeah,
saying that
yeah, yeah.
okay.
Sorry, that net got disconnected, disturbed. That's right.
Yeah, technology, the side effects of technology.
Technology, yeah.
It was fun having you, sir. And like I was telling the audience, that it would be fun to have you back once you have the next book translated, maybe with the autobiography, hopefully, so
Yes,
that we can talk more about the person that Nettur Damodaran was, and let more people know what it is like to actually live through freedom struggle for freedom, and the things that people have had to endure and actually have to go through and to make the changes that we see.
yes.
So thank you for coming over, and hopefully we'll see you again soon.
Thank you. I hope I answered your questions properly. Thank you. Thank you. If any not very good things are there, please cut it out. That's what I want to do.
But for a live show we cannot.
Okay, 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 okay.
It
Right.
was all fun, sir.
Yeah,
Thank
yeah.
you.
Okay, okay. Let us have the fun. Even that also. Because certain questions you asked, no, it did not really go into me. That's why I was initially I was having some doubts what you asked. What is the reply I should give? Right. Okay.
No, that's
Anyway,
all.
I also enjoyed. I also
Fun.
enjoyed very much your interview. Thank
Okay.
you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Thank
and
you.
we'll be back soon again with another episode.